Hey guys, Ultra Maximus here with another Transformers review. This time we're going to take a look at an animated series figure, and it's one of my favorites. He was a fantastic character on the show, and he's one of my favorite G1 characters. It's Wreck-Gar. And yeah, this guy is really nice. The character himself in Transformers Animated appears, he's a pile of junk that basically gets imbued with the powers of the Allspark fragment, and it creates this very odd, eclectic robot who is voiced by Weird Al Yankovic, which is very cool because in the 1986 G1 Transformers, the movie film, Wreck-Gar was one of the newly introduced characters. He was a Junkion, and he was voiced by Eric Idle, famed from Monty Python and various other comedies. Well, the song of the Junkions was Dare to be Stupid by Weird Al Yankovic. And the reason that song actually appeared in the film was because Weird Al Yankovic happened to be on Scotty Brothers Records, and that company is the company that produced the Transformers the movie soundtrack, and they needed something goofy and kind of lighthearted, I guess, for the Junkion planet, something strange and weird, and what better weird than Weird Al Yankovic. So by happenstance, he got onto the soundtrack of the film, and then later on, as an homage to that, Transformers animated crew actually got him to do the voice of Wreck-Gar, and he did a really great job with him. And what was funny, on one of the DVD sets, one of the guys who put the animated show together, his child was a fan of Weird Al Yankovic, and haphazardly brought him into work one day, say, hey, you want to go to work with me? I'll work on the show. And the kid's like, well, yeah, of course. And then he didn't tell him Weird Al was going to be doing the voice that day. So that was kind of a fun little a thing for a kid, I'm sure. Definitely something he'd remember forever and ever and ever. But yeah, looking at the figure itself, he is obviously a dump truck. He is a trash truck. And which was, it's very fitting for the character. The G1 figure was a motorcycle on the Junkion home planet, but I think this actually fits Wreck-Gar, the Junkion, more than it would a motorcycle. And he is in the classic Wreck-Gar G1 colors, kind of a nice dark orange and a burnt reddish, brownish color here, and then we've got the kind of light tan greenish color going on, and then the silvers and darks and blacks and all that kind of good stuff. The detail on this figure is very nice. I love how the grill up here is kind of cartoony in the fact that it's not perfectly symmetrical. I love the painted in headlights and taillights down here. The silver on this is really nice because we get these really nice swirls in the silver plastic, as you can see up here as well, and it just really adds a nice rich color in that plastic, which was really, really nice. We got some good detail on the wheels. You know, this is another situation where the wheels themselves are the same color as the tire, but that's okay. It's a dump truck. I don't really expect it to be anything other than that. We got some nice paint detail apps here. Some nice hydraulics going on up here and up here. I think they did a really good job with that. And this is something I really like. Taillights! Yes! If you watch my videos, you know how much I complain about taillights. And they actually put the taillights on this figure, which is very nice. But yeah, the back end of the truck has some nice detail, molded detail apps there. Very, very cool. Even the top here is really kind of covered. We do have a button here. That's a gimmick. I'll show you that here in a second. But yeah, all around, they did a good job with this alt mode. It is very bulky, and it looks like a garbage truck that you would see throwing garbage into the dumpsters, which is very, very cool. Now, underneath, we obviously have Wreck-Gar under there, but that's okay because it's a vehicle, and it's going to be sitting like that anyway. You know, and the one thing I will say, this kind of reminds me of Transformers Dark of the Moon. There was a Decepticon that scanned a garbage truck like this, and then he took off and we never saw him again. I would have really liked to have seen that turned into a vehicle because I think this is a cool alt mode for a Transformer. It's big and it's bulky, and you could get a nice big bulky robot out of this guy. So this is the first time I think we've actually seen a trash truck like this, which is, you know, it's nice we actually have one, I guess. Now, he does have a little gimmick here. He's got little buttons that if you pull back, the trash dumpster picker-upper things will lift up, look to the side, and they lift up pretty decently. Pretty cool, pretty fun. It's a nice little play gimmick that's going on there with the trash truck itself. And then there is this button here, which pulls these translucent blade weapon things out. I'm not really sure what the point is of them back here, but yeah, there they are. Yeah, just kind of there. But all in all, I really do like this alt mode. I think it is very cool. It's very nice. I love the colors, and I mean, it really represents Wreck-Gar very well as far as an alternate mode in a reimagined version, I think. So let's take a look at the guy in robot mode and see what we think. All right, so here we have Wreck-Gar in his robot mode, and you know, I like this figure, but at the same time, I don't in robot mode, and there's reasons for that, and it's not really I don't like it. It's just, well, it's this. He is essentially a shell former. His entire body folds out of his dump truck piece here, which I can't really fault them for because he did the same thing in the cartoon show. He really did. He had this giant backpack, and it was kind of a gimmick that he had going on where he was constantly grabbing different things out of his backpack. So he did, in fact, have a giant backpack on the show. So that actually was there. That did happen. But, you know, looking at this guy, he is, I mean, he is a nice animated take on the character, and for some reason, when I look at that face, it says Weird Al Yankovic to me. It really, really kind of does. What the nice thing about the face on this guy, he's got the Wreck-Gar goatee going on. He's got this little Weird Al smirk thing going on. But if you look in the detail, his head is actually a television set. There's the antenna there, and it's a portable one. It's got a little handle on the top. And that's kind of an homage back to the original Junkions, because in G1 Transformers, the Junkions watched TV, and they talked TV. Like, their entire dialect were lines from television broadcasts that they had seen from Earth that made it all the way out to Junkion. So that's kind of a nice little homage to that. Another homage to the G1 Junkions, and Wreck-Gar in particular, in the cartoon, he was going through looking for parts of some sort, and he pulls out the G1 motorcycle alt mode of Wreck-Gar and chucks it. Just another piece of junk that was in the back of his backpack, which I thought was kind of funny. But, you know, again, all in all, we've got a nice, really nice design. His chest piece is the front of the truck. He's got, I mean, kind of simplistic legs, but it is the animated style. It would have been nice if we could have maybe hidden these wheels a little bit, but I'll accept that. I mean, that's okay. All in all, I mean, he looks really good. I love the bolts on the shoulders. I think that looks really cool. The one thing that kind of strikes me as odd, he does not have an Autobot or Decepticon logo, which would match like the G1 Junkions, because they were not Autobots nor Decepticons. However, the animated figure, or the animated character, was trying to find himself. He aligned himself very briefly with Lugnut and was a Decepticon, and he took his badge on and off. He ended up hooking up with Ratchet, and he wanted to be an Autobot. And they got a nice little storyline with that, and him wanting to be an Autobot, and, you know, wanting to be a hero and that kind of stuff. And he gets his name. I love how they give the name Wreck-Gar. He was a wrecked walking pile of junk. A walking wreck, a pile of garbage or something like that, and the Robin Hood-like villain, you know, ended up, well, let's shorten it. Let's call it Wreck-Gar. So wreckage and garbage, that's how he got his name. I thought that was kind of clever. I really did like that. The backpack thing here, Again, these parts, I'm not really sure what the deal is with these weapon pieces. They do have some nice detail on them, but they're just kind of there, these weird blade things, and they really don't serve any purpose. I've never really understood why they were there on the figure, other than the fact that they could actually just do it. As far as light piping goes, he does have some nice light piping that you can see there, and it's hidden very, very well on the back of the figure. We get the bar back there for the light piping. He's got pretty standard articulation as far as the robot mode goes. Not so much in the head. He's pretty much going to transform, and there you stand. He does stand relatively well compared to, you know, seeing how he's got this gigantic backpack, but it is balanced relatively well, and for the most part, that's hollow on the inside. So, all in all, he looks good. I like him. This was the only one that I particularly saw when it was out in the stores, so I snatched him up pretty quick, and I'm glad I did because he is a great addition to my Transformers animated collection, and it's a nice version of Wreck-Gar. We've had, what, a couple different versions now. The G1, the classics, the Junk Heap rendition of, I guess, a Junkion of him, and then we've had this one. So I really do like this guy. I wouldn't mind a Transformers Prime version of him. I think that would be kind of cool, a more G1-esque look of him, and I like the garbage truck. I think they should stick with that going forward with the characters. So there he is, Transformers Animated Wreck-Gar. Thanks for watching, guys, and look for more videos in the future. Ball weep, grana weep, ninny bum.